Hello, and welcome to Top of the World. Now this is the start of this video, but it's actually the end of this working day. And it's definitely the coldest day I've been out working. So, how cold is it? I don't know. I don't have a thermometer. But I do know the inside of my coffee flask is frozen. Right, now it is the end of the day, but boy. Anyway, how did I get through today? Well, what you don't see in the following video is twice during this video I've had to exit the forest in somewhat of a rush. My toes went one day, and you're quite restricted on movement in those snowshoes. So I took them off and paced up and down. I couldn't think of nothing but my toes. So that's it. I went off back and warmed my feet and warmed my boots, and an hour later I was back out here, and it happened the second day. Well, today it's much colder. I'm actually coming here looking for my axe. Oh, I can see it. It's much colder than I've been out before, and for Christmas, get off. For Christmas, my Sarah got me these foot warmers. You know, I used to sell all these hand warmers. They're little packets, and you take them out and stick them to your socks, put them in your boots. What a difference that made. So especially early, oh, we was well into the double digits, below freezing. Again, I didn't look at the thermometer, which is probably just as well because I wouldn't come out. And everything got froze. The chainsaw wouldn't start, and I keep that inside the workshop. Anyway, so we've kind of finished this route back down here today, and then we've been working back over there. But we've been just generally thinning through as we're going, filming what I was doing. Like I say, this is the end of the day, so I'm doing my greeting at the end. Does that make any sense, Simon? Only because it was so cold, I'm amazed I've made it all the way through the day. So my back feels quite fragile. I could quite easily carry on today, but I'm not going to. It does feel quite fragile, still suffering from that sewer job. You know, I had no back pain up until I done that, and I just got to go easy with it for a little while. And I'll show you here, this is where I broke through into the water, where I said I'll show you. Well, it's frozen back over now, thankfully, but you'll see. For those of you that know, will know exactly what happened here. There you go. Now that's frozen right through to the ground again now. Can you believe I was that stupid? I can't believe I was that stupid. Anyway, so we're back up there working on this side, and you can basically see the two sides. We're working on that side. This side is the side we did last year. Spectacular, I'm sure you agree. Have I left too many batch there? No, they'll thicken up just fine. It's a nice fertile bit of land, that. Anyway, into the live action. Now, I left those last year because I wanted to see what it looked like. Anyway, it's instantly opened that up. So I've left the stump there because I can cut the stump, especially the birch, that's firewood down there, a lot lower if I cut the top off and then go back and dig around the stump, dig the stump out. Pine. We've got to take some large pine this year because the man that owns this land wants some lumber so we can take his own and then he ain't got to buy it. So we're going to take a couple of pine. I took that one because some of you have been with me, seen me do all this before, because there's so many small ones in there that are going to come on that this one was blocking. So we've taken 2 large birch and a pine out of there. And we can see how that's going to start to open that up, going through there now. We want something like this. But we don't want to take down all the big stuff. Well, you know the score. Anyway, I've got to clean this lot up now and get it ready. You can see the sled way down there, out the way. I'll bring it back round here. And we can start logging this lot up and getting it on. Except the pine, I've got to measure that and cut that into the right lengths. There we go. We brought this round now. That's a log I've picked up from my last cut further down this trail. So what did we start with? Well, we had this kind of scenario here. And now we have that. It's not there yet, but it's coming. So, you know, you've seen it all before. Anyway, we took this large birch out of here. I don't want to take too many really big ones. You've got to leave some of the tall ones standing, but we've got so many here. And then we've got this big pine here, and then you can see a birch on the other side. So what were we doing and why? Well, I'll take you over here and I'll show you. So you can see on the edge here, this is where we thinned last season. And we're running similar trails, but we're putting in additional trails. Right, here we go. So you can see through this now because I've taken these trees out. So I take that large birch down from there, I can dig down and get that stump out. There's a lot of firewood in those stumps. And this is all good fir, all good pine in there. We're going to leave this birch there. So we take this big one, leave that smaller one, leave these smaller ones. And then over here, these 2 I took out. Wow, that big birch there, that was hard up against that, and that's a lovely tree. So we're leaving that one and we're leaving that one. That birch there, that tall one, that's damaged. That's never going to make an old tree, so we're going to take that one out as well and let this one here flourish. So again, I'll dig down, take that stump out. There you go, you can see the 2 I felled. Now I need to take about a dozen like this for the job I've got to do for this landowner. So we'll take those. Now we can't use those this year. So what I'll do is I'll cant these up and then I'll take cants out of stock, the same size that are already dried, and we'll use that. But we have to replace it. So it's tree for tree. We take that one out. So this one there is damaged. That's got to come out. It's got to split all the way up it. Right, we've got another little one there. And then we've got these 2 here, this one and this one. Right, we take out that scraggly one up there, leave this one. And then there's 2 more there, we'll take out one of those. That's a good one, look at that. Stunning. Leave that alone. We're going to leave that small one alone. And there's some young trees here coming up, so this gap will soon be filled in. 2 seasons and the trees will be flourishing. Not a lot I can do. It's 20 below freezing and it's killed the battery. of tops in there. It looks like it from this end. There, that's just running along this top route, taking out the thinnings beside the track. It's Sunday, and everything about this morning was telling me not to come here. Oh, that sewer job just crucified my back. And not because I can't lift. Lifting's no problem, pulling's no problem. What seems to do it worse than anything else these days is when I curl up. So when I'm on my knees bending over, I reckon it squeezes one of the discs that's left onto the nerves, or the new one that's grown, I don't know. But if you remember rightly, just, I don't know, 2 months after my back surgery, I was doing that decking job. Oh, just murdered me. It's that position. On my knees, crouched down, doing something, just. Anyway, I can feel it, but I can't feel it when I'm, you know, doing this. So I've got to keep going. I've got to keep pushing. I can't not do it. I could have had another day off and then I've lost a whole week. So anyway, this is all thinnings. This is all ideal for Thomas. He's only got a very small wood oven in the kitchen, albeit it heats quite a lot. These thinnings are just ideal for him. Anyway, let's get this lot back to the yard. We've got a situation here where I want to drop a tree, and wherever I'm going to drop it, it's going to cause some damage, and I want to limit the damage to what it's going to cause. And when I say damage, I'm talking about 10, 15, 20, 25 years of growth in trees I want to keep. So we've been down here before, and one of the places we've got to thin this year is this side. I done some thinning here last year, but it was very limited. But what we've also got to do is thin this side behind me. Now I'll show you the situation we've got now. I think I'm going to deal with it. So this one here is coming out of it. Right, it's a big old one, and there's some nice young ones, one behind it, that can take its place. So I'm going to drop that. Now, it's heavily weighted in one direction. This is, and it's on the lean. So it tells me it wants to fall straight in there. Now, I haven't done any more thinning in here because I want to see what's going to get damaged first, but I don't really want to drop it in here. Where I really want to drop it, and these I've thinned this bit, these are all keepers. Where I really want to drop it is straight through there. Now you can see the lean and the weight that's got on it. I don't know if I can do that. But what I mustn't do in any way is damage this, because this is the one we want to keep. Out of everything on this side, there's two. There's this one here and there's this one there. So what I'm going to do is, these two small pines here, they've had the tops taken out by moose a long time ago. They're no good, they're rubbish. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear through here a little bit so I can see what I've got, and then I'm going to make a decision as to which way I drop that one. So I'm not going to touch anything over here until I've dropped, because everything on this side that we're clearing through has to be dropped this way, because the creek's through there and I can't get to the other side. I've got to track the other side, but a long way the other side. And quite clearly, this one here is so leaning and so weighted this way, that's never going to go the other way. So, I'm going to set the camera up. I'm going to clear through what I know is rubbish out of here, and then we're going to have another look. So when you're thinning and clearing and improving the forest whilst collecting firewood, firewood is always secondary. Well, it's not always, depends on how you are, for me. Right, let me explain what I done there. So I took down two what looked to be perfectly good young pines. Right. Well, here's the top out the first one. That is the top. And that was caused by a moose nipping out the top when it was young. Right, that's never going to grow. Rubbish. This last one I just took down over here, this is the tip. Split, damaged, and the very, very head is dead. Right, caused back by here. Let's see if I can find it. Right there. The tip was nipped out there when it was young, and they'll never grow. They'll never grow properly. So on this one here, you can see right at the very top there's a leading point, as there is on this one. If I could show you on some young ones, well, there's one. It's right between those trees. And you see that's got a clear point. That'll grow all the way up into one of those. Right? But if when it's smaller, that gets taken out, it won't. So we've taken out the scraggly old birch here. So there's very little firewood there. But what that has done is that's given me a better look at that to decide that that is the one I'm going to take out. And what else is left there. So this is a really nice pine, and this has got this bendy birch behind it, right up against it. So I'm going to take that birch that way and get that out of it. I'm going to leave all these little birches. Here, there's some willow. 1, 2, 3. Right. The landowner hates willow. So we'll take those out and leave that nice pine behind it. And then we'll work our way down through there. I'm going to clear this up, and then I'm going to have a cup of coffee on this one. We had snow last night. That's this morning. They're big. They're really big. That didn't do my back much good. Anyway, look at that now. Amazing. Amazing. Alright, well, I'm still thinking about this one. Still looking at that one. Alright. We think that's nice and clean through there now. We're getting there. So we did this area last season and now we're down into here and then we've got to go through there. So how many hours am I into today? Well, I've had to run another trail then clear through here. I'm 5.5 hours since I left the yard and that's what I got. Mostly rubbish. There's a couple of bits of birch on there, but it's bendy old naff, pine and willow. No use at all. But that's very disappointing. And it goes like that. Some days you can get 3, maybe even 4 good loads out. Other days you're struggling with 1 or 2. Say I'd done that and I spent much longer down that ditch bending over. That's my back then. That's it. And then if my back's not right the next morning, that's that as well. So yeah, it's a bit disappointing, I've got to admit. But anyway, we'll come back. I've been sitting having coffee looking at this big one. I don't want to take it. I like it. However, when you get down here, it shows a different perspective on it. It's just a nice tree, but it's got such a terrible lean. And then I thought, see, I tried to get Thomas out here yesterday, he wouldn't have it, he's not coming out. And he would look at that and say, no, take it, straight away, instantly. Well, it wouldn't be any question to take it, it's not straight. If they ain't straight or they ain't split, then there's always a question, is it overcrowded? No, then leave it alone. But that's bent and old and there's lots of nice straight ones around it to take its place. hope you all enjoyed that. It's a bit more action-packed than normal. I thank you all for watching. If you feel like you want to contribute, they're gratefully received. You can do that with the link in the description below at Buy Me a Coffee. And we'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.